This is Everyone is Trans, Stop Looking by Ben Shapiro. Let's take a look at this before we get to DeSantis.
Folks, Pride Month is coming up, and you know what that means? It means that you are going to get rainbow vomit on everything across.
Look at how horny he is for this, bro. Little bro, it only got 247,000 views in 4 days. Damn, dude. Pride Month's not here yet, bucko. Maybe fucking calm down. Motherfucker is prepping for Pride Month more than like every gay person is.
Corporate America. If everywhere you shop is doing Pride Month, then how exactly are you going to not shop somewhere during Pride Month? You're just going to have to ingest the rainbow cereal along with the rest of it. Okay? So unity in corporate wokeness is principle number one. And principle number two is you won't get that offended. Because the reality is, Harvard Business School studies about this, the left is significantly more annoying than the right is, typically speaking, when it comes to their consumption.
Wait. I'm sorry. What does that mean?
Of products, or this has been true at least heretofore. There's a study from Harvard Business School that I've talked about on the show before. This study found that if you take a neutral corporation, a corporation that has no politics, and you have a right-wing corporation, a left-wing corporation, that the left-wing corporation...
He said, scientifically speaking, the left is more annoying than the right. What the fuck?
Is viewed somewhat positively by the left. The neutral corporation is also viewed somewhat positively by the left because they assume that it's just a left-wing corporation. A right-wing corporation loses 20 to 30 points in approval rating just for not being a left-wing corporation. For the right, however, the right doesn't have significant feelings about this one way or another. The right typically will just shop wherever it wants to shop. So corporate America has relied on this.
What is he saying? Like, what is happening here? What is a right-wing corporation? First of all corporations are right-wing. They're corporations, okay? Right-wing from an economic sense, okay? Unless they're like a cooperative owned by exclusively septum-piercing wearing bisexuals, they are probably going to be right-wing, okay? I don't know what you mean by this. Like Coca-Cola, because they fucking slap on the LGBT pride flag on their boxes for the duration of Pride Month, does that make them a left-wing corporation? Do we just all of a sudden forget like the assassination of Colombian labor leaders at the behest of Coca-Cola Corporation? Like, are they now all of a sudden fucking, left-wing? Is that how that works?
Corporate America has relied on your apathy and my apathy. And the fact that we're like, listen, man, I still got to go to Target. That's what they have relied on. But here's the thing. Alternatives are now available. The entire goal.
They are the ones who are trying to provide commodities as an alternative when, the alternative is just the same exact garbage. They're made in the same plants. There's nothing else. It's just aesthetics, okay? It's the same shit, but with a different seasoning on it. And they are desperately trying to create a process where, like, there is a conservative alternative and they want to be the monopoly of the conservative alternative. I don't think people give a shit. I don't think conservatives care. I don't think real conservatives, like the average American who will vote for a Republican reliably, is not going to be like, oh, man, I can't believe this. Like, Bud Light had a trans person on, like, one random can. So that means I can't drink it anymore. Like, no, they're fucking alcoholics. Like, they don't give a shit, okay? It's all just marketing, and I don't think it actually works in the way that they think it works. And they put a nice little fucking tidy markup on the top of it because it's like, this is basically the pink tax, but for Republicans, okay? It's the stupid tax. He just said conservatives don't care, so why are they making products if they don't care? Exactly. Well, they're making the products because they want to make money, and they're trying to create a structure where people should care about this, and it's fucking dumb. You're pretty much getting the exact same product with a markup just because they claim it's fucking conservative. It's all marketing, and they're engaging in it. Very stupid, very silly, but then again, so is, American politics in general. They're not doing this for some like real political fucking purpose, okay? I just need you to understand. They're doing this because they want to make money. That's it.
Of things like Pride Month. The entire goal of a wave of corporate propaganda on behalf of the Pride Progress flag, on behalf of propagandistic nonsense about the moral equivalence of all sexual activity and orientation, the beauty of all forms of sexual congress, the idea that boys can be girls, girls can be boys. This entire moral program that is being pushed by the woke relies on, one, their unity, and two, your apathy. But you don't actually have to do that. You don't actually have to do that. So what we are about to see during Pride, and we're already seeing it, is again, corporate woke unity in the assumption that you will remain apathetic no matter how woke and crazy they get. So, for example, Target, right, major corporation, relies on your shopping. They have decided that it's time to sell products that transes the kids. This is a TikTok video that's been going viral showing that there are bathing suits in the kids section with tuck options. So, your little boy, you're trying to trans, You can get him a girl's bathing suit that allows him to take his penis and testicles and tuck them up under himself. Isn't that nice?
How is this like normal political commentary, man? Like, I don't understand. Like, why? Why is this discourse, brother? Why are you constantly thinking about like what the fuck's going on with people's genitals, man? I've lived my whole goddamn life never worrying about that ever. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why is this your hyperfixation, Ben?
Really great job here, Target.
I'm sorry I chose you again. I just needed to do the bathing suit the last bit. I found the tuck bathing suits, the tuck-friendly bathing suits. So if you need a women's bathing suit and you have a little extra meat down there that you gotta hide, you have one option. That is the only bathing suit that I found in the entire store, and it's in the Pride section. It's not in the kids section, women's section, boys section, baby section. It is in the Pride.
Of course, as always, here's the AP fact check. Target's Pride collection features tuck-friendly swimsuits for adults, not kids. It was fucking wrong. And it was a lie, but these people don't care that it's a lie because that's their goal is to literally just whip up frenzy, dude. In the olden days, right, they would do this for the love of the game. They would constantly whip up people into a frenzy for the love of the game because it gave them clout. Now, and clout, of course, meant like more ad revenue, yada, yada, yada. But now they have a direct stream of revenue through their line of commodities that they're producing, which implies this shit's going to get way fucking worse. In many ways, what they're doing is exactly what Target is doing, but in the opposite direction. If Target is virtue signaling, which they are, right? They don't give a shit about trans people like that. You know what I mean? It's great. They're being accommodating. That's fine, right? Ultimately, do they care? No. They just want people to buy their fucking bathing suits. They recognize that like conservatives don't care. Liberals don't care. Ultimately, it doesn't like change people's consumer decisions. But there is a, massive market that they can open up to and sell products to, which there's no problem with, okay? They see a market and they want to capitalize on it. Of course, they're going to do that. That's what capitalism is about. That's what they're doing. They're doing it and virtue signaling. Conservatives are doing the exact same thing and vice signaling. That's it. That's it. If Target is libbed up and is virtue signaling, then Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire are vice signaling and trying to farm impressionable, dumb, baboon-brained idiots who are whipped up into a frenzy by the thought of trans people existing, by these fucking perverts, so that they can sell you the same fucking products with a markup. The products are made in the same factories. The products are made by the same people. You're just paying for a markup. When you finally figure out that, like, conservative culture wars rely on people just being bullies to marginalize people, you start looking at things a little bit differently.
Only one I could find. And I did have another adult with me checking all the tags so that I didn't have to stay in the store for 9 hours. It's the only one.
Well, isn't that sad? It's the only one they could find. But Target is, in fact, stacked up with Pride Progress gear that is geared toward children. They have baby gear that is geared toward gay pride and trans pride. Like, for small babies, for, like, kids.
Like, what's going to happen if the binky is, like, rainbow colored, bro? You think your baby... I'm not letting my baby suck on a binky. That's gay. Like, that's what Ben's commentary has, like, reduced to, for the record. Like, that's how fucking insane this is. Just understand. Like, understand what Ben is talking about. He's talking about, like, having rainbow colors on, like, baby clothes is, like, indoctrination or some shit.
Kids who can't talk yet. And Target believes that you won't do anything about it. That's why they're doing it. They believe that they will gain the upside of the left being super enthusiastic about them, and there is no downside because the right will just go silent. The right won't pay any attention to it.
Or maybe because, like, it's fucking insane to make a big stink about this. Like, you would have to be an absolute fucking psychopath to be bent out of shape over this, okay? And Ben is, so that's the reality.
It is not just Target. It's also apparently Starbucks, and it's Starbucks internationally. So Starbucks has now put out an ad for India. Now, India, as you may know, is a pretty socially conservative country. When I say that the chief expert...
Oh, he loves that. He's like, India's great. They're so awesome. They hate Muslims over there. So do I.
Word of the United States is now wokeness. I mean it. It is now wokeness because it's embedded in all of our corporate product. Starbucks is present nearly every place on the globe, and they feel the necessity to lecture people of India about why boys can be girls and girls can be boys, and parents need to be tolerant and accepting of their boy pretending that he's a girl. So here's an ad
wait.
from Starbucks directed at the Indian market.
Wait. Hold up. This is really funny because, brother, India, despite being victim to, colonial violence, I would suspect has like a different understanding of gender than the United States of America does. Right off the bat, one way that you can immediately recognize that is because, like, if you've ever been on Indian TikTok, dudes cry all the time. Like, that's a fundamental part of Indian TikTok that we used to watch. That right off the bat is like immediately toxic masculinity, or the way that it is like represented in society is very different. That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist in different ways. That doesn't mean that there's no violence against women or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all. It is to get you to understand that like different cultures have very different perceptions of gender and gender roles, okay? Now, not only that, but if this fucking dumb bitch maybe opened a goddamn book for once, would recognize that like in India, there is already no matter how fucking fascist Modi's government is, India is massive, obviously. So there's obviously different areas with like very different attitudes, very different cultural norms, okay? But like in the Indian subcontinent, Hijra are eunuchs or intersex people or transgender people who live in communities that follow a kinship system known as the Guru Chela system. This already has been a thing. Not only has it been a thing, it's also a thing that has been codified. In 2019, the Transgender Persons Protection Rights Act, the TPPRA, was passed with the associated rules published the following year. The act prohibits discrimination against transgender people when it comes to things like education and employment. It also includes the right to self-identification as a trans person. A national portal for transgender persons was introduced so that it could apply online for transgender ID. The assumption that you think that every country that is not in the West is actually technically kind of barbaric, and that's why they would have like they would be like inherently and immediately transphobic, is really fucking stupid. You can still be awful, brutal, fascist, and still be pro-trans if it's a part of your culture. He immediately jumped to the conclusion that India is traditional and conservative and not too fond of trans people. Why did he do that? Because there's a hidden implication there. And that hidden implication is that actually progressive societies like America are pro-trans and India is not progressive. So of course they're anti-trans, okay? So there's that hidden implication right there that like technically even Ben understands that it's actually more evolved to be pro-trans. And guess what? India is more evolved than a lot of other Western countries by that very same standard.
For the domestic morality of the United States, of course. It also has ramifications for our foreign policy. You know what is one thing that people across the world are not interested in? The importation of this sort of crap. They're just not interested in it. I remember I was speaking, actually, this is an interesting conversation. I was speaking with a very high-ranking member of the Pakistani foreign policy establishment at one point. And this person and I were talking, and one of the things this person was saying is, listen, we have some commonalities of interest with the United States. There are areas of crossover, but there's one thing we are not interested in whatsoever, and that is your social morality. We think that your social morality is garbage. We think that you are attempting to corrupt our children. We think that you are attempting to import your libertinism and gender confusion into our country. And so we don't want any part of that. So if your offer is blue jeans, but also transness, not interested. We'll make our own jeans. We'll import it from somewhere else. But that is not just, members of the Pakistani foreign policy establishment. That's true pretty much everywhere. It turns out there's a very small slice of the human population, and it's a weird slice.
For Pakistan, the Transgender Persons Protection of Rights Act was passed by Parliament in 2018 to secure the fundamental rights of transgender Pakistanis. It ensures their access to legal gender recognition, among other rights. Once again, the federal Sharia court on Friday struck it down on several provisions of the landmark law, terming them un-Islamic. But once again, it's different. This is new, by the way. This is a relatively new thing that happened in Pakistan. And they're appealing it. What is so stupid about what Ben is arguing here, he's arguing for stupidity, okay? He's arguing to dull the masses. He's arguing for his audience to be so fucking dumb. It takes 3 seconds of Google to immediately destroy 90% of the fucking anti-trans shit that he's saying right here. You are the real barbarian, not the indigenous societies that we are looking at. You have better knowledge. You are better equipped with the scientific understanding. You are better equipped with a better understanding of the world. You've been taught to be tolerant. You've evolved into this like higher being, okay, than people that lived in the before times, and yet you still choose to be a fucking animal. You are more barbaric. You are not superior by any means. A superior culture, if such a thing existed, okay, an evolved person would do a little bit of reading and practice an empathetic worldview. You do not have that because you're a barbarian. You can put a fucking suit on or maybe sometimes look more business casual, okay, and try to present yourself as this like intellectual giant of the conservative movement. But all you're doing when you're advocating for a reactionary worldview is trying to get others on board with how much of a fucking barbarian animal you are. Okay? Whew. Nasty.
place of the human population that is very into this stuff and now wishes to proselytize on its behalf. But if you wish to, it makes it harder for us to form alliances with countries based on commonality of interest. Because what they say is, if we let you in the front door, we're very concerned with what you are going to bring in with you. Again, the export in 1950s America, 1940s America, 1930s America, the export was, we're going to bring American military power, we're going to establish your freedom, and we are not going to threaten your baseline level of morality. Because you know what we still believe in? We still believe in like monogamous, nuclear families. Like the things that are the most threatening are like rock and roll. That was like the big threat in the 1950s and 60s. We might bring rock and roll to your shores, and that was going to corrupt the youth. Now, the big threat is we might come in and tell your son that he should cut off his penis.
Dog, again, everything that he established from that point on is so stupid because we already dunked on it. You know what I mean? Companies are not trying to indoctrinate other cultures. It doesn't work that way. If a company is doing pro-trans marketing, that means there's a lot of fucking trans people and people are not upset at that, okay? So why the fuck are you getting mad at that from Nashville, motherfucking Tennessee? They already made their minds. Starbucks decided. They recognize the market in Pakistan. They recognize the market in India. That's why they're doing the pro-trans cups in India, okay? They recognize the consumer base has, it doesn't have the same feelings that you do.
Well, that's a pretty big threat, as it turns out. So it actually has ramifications for how we do foreign policy, because who wants to ally with a country that says the condition of us allying with you, Saudi Arabia, the condition of us making an alliance with you, Hungary, the condition of us forming a more solid relationship with you, India, is that you fly the Pride Progress flag and also pretend that your son is a daughter. Here's the Starbucks India commercial. It says, calling Arpit. It's an older gentleman calling his son on his phone. And the mom is looking at him skeptically. And she says, listen, don't get angry this time, please. They're in a Starbucks. And he's starting to get upset.
Bro, I'm such a fucking chatter. Immediately, I want to be like, we can read, Ben, which is what you guys tell me all the time when I read the subtitles, to be accommodating for those who are just like simply listening on audio only. Immediately.
And here comes oh, look, Arpit's a girl. But Arpit isn't a girl. I know, but thanks for meeting me, Dad. I know it's been years.
Bro, this is awesome. Dude, okay. Ben Shapiro is so transphobic. It's not enough that, like, you know, pro-trans shit's happening in America. He had to literally go to India, a culture that he doesn't fucking understand, that he completely misrepresented, and is getting mad at a fucking Indian pro-trans ad. Dude, at a certain point, someone needs to shake some sense into you, dog. Someone's got to be like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, why are you crying about some fucking ad in India? What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
But you still mean the world to me. Oh, Dad's going to give a warm hug to his coffee. Oh, they're going to get coffee together. And then Mom is so accepting. Now Dad's accepting, all because of Starbucks' shitty coffee.
First of all, dude, okay. Listen. No, put some respect on that. Globally, not every country has great coffee, okay? I can't speak for India. I've never been there. No. Wherever you fucking go, man, no matter where you go on the planet, I can't believe I'm riding for Starbucks like that. Starbucks actually has some solid fucking coffee globally.
Little burn coffee makes you... Your habits haven't changed.
Oh, to be fair, I've never had a regular Starbucks coffee. I've only had cold brew, so I can't speak on anything else.
Says the dad.
Cold coffees for Arpita.
3 cold coffees for Arpita. And it's for Arpita, not Arpit.
Cold coffees for
Arpita. And he ordered it because he's accepting her name, guys.
Okay, you know this fucking video is bullshit because no one in Starbucks, not in India or in any other fucking country, is ever going to get your name right, okay?
Oh, so, and the guitar is going to... For me, you are still my kid. Only a letter has got added to your name. It doesn't say the part where the got subtracted.
Oh, gross, dude. What is wrong with you? But you don't even know that. What's wrong with you, man? That's so weird. Bro, I am a firm believer that transphobes are their own worst enemies in many respects because of like how callously they just talk about like trans people like they're just not real human beings. And I feel like to the average person who still has like apathy towards trans people, when they hear someone like Ben immediately rush to like the person's genitals, you're like, what? Why? Like, this is not something that I ever think about. You're a fucking pervert, dude. You're a gross pervert, if your immediate perspective is like, you see a trans person, you're like, oh, dicks. It's like, you're a fucking weirdo, dude. You're a weirdo. It's gross.
And the singing. Like Sarah McLaughlin, Indian style over here. It starts with Arpita. Hashtag it starts with your name. So Starbucks is now exporting the transness to India.
It's not. It existed. No company goes out of their way to do cultural exports unless it's Hollywood and they're doing cultural imperialism to make it seem like America is the hoorah military savior of the planet. Okay? That's it. And even then, it's not the hoorah military shit that actually works really well in other countries. It's the fact that it's cool to watch shit explode. Okay? It's very fucking stupid. It doesn't go in the way that Ben is talking about. It doesn't work that way, man. It doesn't fucking work that way. Corporation doesn't operate that way. A corporation just wants to make money. Everybody understands this. It's so fucking stupid. It is so incredibly stupid to think that like Starbucks is just trying to trans the Indian nation.
Here's the thing that people ought to remember. One, the corporate woke unity monolith is fake. It's not real. It's not real. They have this tenuous agreement that they will all go woke in order so that you will just give in and acquiesce. You'll have a feeling there's a tsunami, that every place you go during June is going to be covered with Pride Progress flags and gay.
Bro, this is something I will never fucking understand. If like being inundated with like a rainbow flag, which is so fucking tacky and gaudy and not exactly aesthetically pleasing. I've talked about this so much. It is like the one area where the queer community has like flubbed on aesthetic preferences and just, you know, whatever. It is so, oh God, it's all of that and then some. If seeing the rainbow colored flag or being inundated with it is queering your child, then your child is queer, you fucking idiot. That's it. I've been living in West Hollywood for the past 10 years and never have I ever been like, man, I really want to suck a dick right now. Okay? I'm sorry to my gay audience. It is what it is. I know that this frustrates you, this upsets you. But if that was the case, if this was like social conditioning and that you could become gay, okay, you could magically become gay. I'm not gonna lie, homophobic. I know, it is very, very homophobic of me. If that was the case, well then, you know, all of the straight propaganda that you see would then fix them, okay? If that's what you think. It don't work that way. So for the record, one thing that I also have to mention here is that even if it was a choice, okay, even if it was a choice, which it isn't, but even if it was, why is that a problem? That's the craziest part about this that I will never understand, which is like, if this is a choice and people are choosing to be gay, why are you so mad? Aren't you a fucking libertarian? Why don't you respect someone's choices? Like, even if it was a choice, why? Why do you care?
Pride flags and trans the kids onesies and all the rest of it. And so you go, oh God, I can't even deal with this. Fine, I'll just buy whatever. Because listen, I got to go shopping. This is what they are counting on. But here's the thing. It's way weaker than it looks. Way weaker than it looks. And so the right has to make a point of picking a few targets. You can't do it to everybody. Picking a few targets and then destroying their stock. Picking a few targets and then actively not buying from those targets, making clear why you are not buying from those targets. You can't be
I love this shit. I want to see what happens. I actually do want to see if this will be like even remotely successful. I think here's my assessment. This upcoming Pride Month, they're going to try some boycotts, okay? And unlike, trans Twitter posters that are trying to boycott Hogwarts, which is like something that everybody wants to consume, a lot of people do, they might actually get a little bit, they might actually have a more tangible goal. They're gearing up for it. They have a lot more institutional advocacy coming from the highest rungs of society. Let's see what they do. I want to see if they can actually get a boycott working. Do I think that it will work? No, I do not. I do not think that it'll work. I think that they will do the same thing that they did with Bud Light, where they live in their own fucking la-la land, so it doesn't even matter, where they turned around and they were like, oh no, it actually did work. We actually hit Bud Light by billions of dollars. Bud Light lost $1 trillion in market share. Like, they were just, I saw the most unhinged shit about Bud Light. Like, they were talking about how, like, no, it's over. Like, Bud Light is actually shutting the doors. They're done. No more beer in America. It's over. It's Jover for Bud Light. Like, it didn't even fucking happen, but in their minds it did. So I guess it worked for them. You know what I mean? So let's see what happens.